Let's take a look at TEC and how you do a call from your building level. I will use the district level access to go through the method of doing this and some key things to look at. So first and foremost, you are going to log in with your building level access, not your admin level access, but your building level access. And you will see some different things populate from what you have as your personal voicemail box. But you are going to notice that it's the same thing. You still have your tabs that are up here. You still have your messages and your call lists that are over here. This tells me that I am in central office, and you have just some general information in the middle. I do want to direct your attention to help, as this is very helpful, and their screen shots are very helpful to help you get through things. Hopefully this video cleans some of it up, but if not, look at the outbound dialing tab and you will notice that they put together a very nice document that kind of shares everything that I'm about to go over. For this training, just going to look at the outbound dialing. So that's what we're looking for if we want to send out a message to all students and families and or staff. So when you click on the outbound dialing, it does give me the last one that I created, and this is a test one that I created just as an example. But I'm going to go through just like I never created one. So you want to focus your attention to this bottom tab. There are some pretty important pieces here. You can look at call lists, you can make edits on the call list, you can look at the history of the call list that you have. The status report is very important if you want to, after you send a message and you want to run a status report on what calls made it, what calls didn't. I can send another video out for that if there's interest there. But the main thing we're going to focus on is the scheduled list, because this is where you are going to schedule your mass phone call, whether it's just for a standard priority or emergency priority. You're going to notice the very top, who do you want to send this call to? So your options are going to show up here. For our option today, I'm going to choose just the staff. I'm going to choose to go to all 258 numbers that are in my staff list. Only the 258 numbers that have not been reached would be if those calls have not been, or if there's a husband and wife and that number has not been reached. So you may want to go ahead and do that as well, depending on how your building makeup is. And the record and touch tone response. If you remember, TEC talked about you can do the survey responses, enter 1 if yes, enter 2 if no. If you are doing something like that in your message, then you want to click yes, and then it's going to record the touch tone response. Your start date is just that. When do you want this message to go out? Start time. What time do you want it to go out? End time. What time would you like this to end by to make sure that there are no phone calls happening afterwards? You can do the show calendar to schedule in advance, or you can just type it up in that format right there. Or if you want, you can just click now, and it basically gives the date and the current time and everything. Just because I don't want this to go out right away, I'm going to change this to PM. So I can delete this message to make sure it doesn't go out. And you're going to see that the end time is at 9 o'clock p.m. Once again, decide in advance how long you want this message to go out, and be very careful with the AM and PM, making sure that your times are correct. You will have a chance to verify all this information afterwards, so if you make a mistake here, you'll have a chance to catch it. When an answering machine is detected, so you can leave it on the first attempt, the third attempt, or don't leave a message at all. So you need to make that call on what you want to do there. If I want a message just to go out, typically I will say the first attempt. Depending on what that message is, you'll have to make that call. Record new message. I can have recorded messages on here, and I did one earlier, but I'm going to record a new message. That's the choice that I'm going to do, and for the most part, my guess is, because a lot of you don't do recurring phone messages, that you'll do this as well. Memo, I'm going to call this test 2. and I would type in, just to make it specific, if I was doing an inclement weather call, I probably would put the date for the inclement weather, just if I need to trace it back or run reports, I know what I'm looking for. Schedule a standard or crisis priority. I'll use the example of inclement weather again. If we're leaving a message in the morning, it's going to go out crisis priority. It's going to make all these phone calls probably within 5 to 10 minutes, if that, just so families know and can make the proper adjustments. But in this case, I'm going to use standard priority, and that just makes kind of random calls throughout the time limits that you have. So within that 31 minutes right there, these 258 numbers will end up being reached. If I like all of this, I'm going to continue. If I don't, I'm going to close the form, and it's like it never happened. So in this case, I'm going to continue, and your information is going to populate here. It tells you what the date, the time that everything is going to happen, and you have to tell the system what you want to use. I'm using my computer, so I'm going to use the built-in microphone. And then you have your options right here. Obviously, I can't play, pause, or stop because I have nothing recorded. But as soon as I hit record, you're going to see a little audio level populate here, and you can begin recording your message. Now, I'm doing a video on a video, so you're going to hear a little bit of feedback when I play it back. But just know it's because I'm doing this video. So once I click record, you will see how the internal mic is registering my voice. It's giving you the time that it's taking for me to record this. So I'm going to hit stop because I'm happy with my message. I want to play it back.
So once I click record, you will see how the internal mic is registering my voice. It's giving you the time
I am going to
it's taking for me to record this.
Stop it.
So I'm going to hit stop.
There we go. Okay, sorry. So I'm going to pause it. I don't know why it didn't stop there, but stop, pause. If you want to re-record it, all you do is hit record again, and it takes you right back to the very beginning if I didn't like the first one. And then once again, once I'm done, I can stop it. I can play it again to make sure that's the one.
Hit record again, and it takes you right back to the very beginning if I didn't like the first one. And then once again,
it doesn't like to stop, so I'm going to pause it. Apologize for that. So I'm going to stop it. If I like that, I have a choice to save the recording. If I, once again, want to cancel where I'm at, I am going to close the form, and it's going to cancel recording and close everything. But in this case, I want you to see the final process, so I'm going to save the recording. It's going to say upload is successful. That's great.
Again, and it takes you right back to the very beginning.
And it takes you to your verification. So once again, I went through everything, I uploaded it, I clicked OK, but there's still the final message to say, is this what you want to do? So once again, I can go through all the details of my recording, I can listen to my recording again, there's my title, there's my priority. If I like it, I continue. If I don't, I cancel and I go through the process again. I am going to continue to show you the next step. And the next step basically says, okay, here is your call list. Designated by the yellow means, hey, I have a recording that is ready to go out. I can click on it, and it gives me the details. It's ready to go out at 8:29 p.m. on October 11th, and it's going to end by 9 o'clock. So once again, all your details are here. If you really went through all those and verified it those couple times and you still are like, you know what, that's not what I want, you have the opportunity, which I'm going to do here because obviously I do not want this to go out, but I will end up going through and just stopping it. Are you sure? Yes. Notice the call is not going out. Final status, call list is being canceled by user. All right, so that's my safety feature right there. All right, if you have any questions, please ask, and I will get back to you to answer them. Thank you.